Welcome back everyone to a video, and today we are going over my week 8 NFL picks. Brief recap over last week's picks. Not thrilled about it. We really didn't get some of those games I was really hoping would turn our way. Namely the closer ones being the Texans and the Packers. Really close. Packers went on a field goal, no time left. Similar ending there in the Vikings game. So both those didn't really go our way. I was a little annoyed about that. I kind of regret not treating the Thursday night game very seriously. If you guys watched my pick video last week, I was like, yeah, the Saints have everybody missing, but maybe they'll still win. I'm not sure why I didn't just change the Broncos. I figured it wasn't going to happen, but either way, that one's still on me. We definitely missed more than I would have liked for this week. Again, my goal was around 80%. I think we are right now around 60%, so we definitely have some work to go, but still over half the year left, so not too worried about it. I am pretty confident in a lot of the picks this week, whereas last week there was a lot that I was kind of up in the air about. This week, though, Thursday night, Vikings and Rams. I'm picking the Vikings all the way here. Even if Cooper Kupp is back for the Rams, or even if Kupp and Puka Nacua were both back, I honestly still wouldn't pick the Rams. The Vikings are one of the hottest teams in the NFL. Their defense is unbelievable. I think it's a poor matchup for the Rams. And then without them, of course, even if Kupp does play, even if he doesn't, I just don't see the Rams winning this game. I think the Vikings bounced back from last week in a very hard-fought game anyway, even though they didn't win. It was a good game. So I have the Vikings there in Thursday Night Football. Next is the Bengals and the Eagles. Now, I'm not really sure who's exactly favored in this game. I am going to pick the Bengals, though. I think this is the time of year when Joe Burrow and that offense usually starts to get pretty hot. I think the biggest difference this year is the Bengals defense is just so bad. So will that be all the difference? I don't really know, but the Eagles, they're a great team. I love watching Saquon Barkley. They really haven't won some of their games as cleanly as I would have liked them to. I honestly think the Bengals played better in some of their close losses than the Eagles did in some of the Eagles' close wins, if that makes sense. I really think the Bengals have played some pretty good football this year. The record just really doesn't show it. I love the Eagles. I love the Bengals. These are two teams I think are very exciting to watch. I'm gonna go with the Bengals though. It's a big game big game for both teams here. I'm going Bengals. Next to the Cardinals and the Dolphins, I'm picking the Dolphins. I believe Tua's back. You had Tyreek Hill talking about this week to start in fantasy football. I think everybody's very confident in the Dolphins again. I'm going to pick the Dolphins here. If Tua is to not play, then I would definitely pick the Cardinals, but pretty sure he is. I'm picking the Dolphins. Really hope Tua can just stay healthy. And then next is the Ravens and the Browns. No Deshaun Watson. Jameis Winston is starting. In my opinion, this actually makes the Browns better. I said that, I think, 3 or 4 weeks ago, that I felt like this team was not going to do anything with Watson there at quarterback. Goes down, really bad injury. It is what it is. I think the Browns are already in a hole as of right now anyways. They just let Amari Cooper go, or traded him. So, it's a bad spot for them. And then, going to the Ravens, they're playing great football. I got to go with the Ravens here. I don't think the Browns upset there in Cleveland. Picking the Ravens. Titans and Lions, I'm picking the Lions. Not sure if a whole lot has to be said about that. I'm picking the Lions. Although it is weird, Jameson Williams gets suspended 2 games. I believe for performance-enhancing drug violation, which is just really random time for that to happen. But still, Lions in that one. Colts and Texans, big divisional game here. I have the Texans. Stroud did not play very well last week. And the Texans as a whole were just kind of, I don't want to say dysfunctional, but you could tell they missed Nico Collins for sure against a good opponent like the Packers. But again, they still could have won that game. It really came down to the very end. This time around, though, I'm picking the Texans to beat the Colts. I'm just not confident in the Colts. Sometimes they look great. Other times they look not great. It's just, I have to do the team I feel more comfortable with. For me, I think the Texans are the better matchup here, or had the advantage in this matchup. So I'm picking the Texans there. Packers and Jaguars, I'm picking the Packers. Jaguars, they have, 2 wins now, I believe. They beat the Patriots. Still, I'm not really convinced. The only thing I will say is that I love Brian Thomas Jr. I made a video on him like 3 or 4 weeks ago talking about how he's like probably the most underrated rookie wide receiver, at least at that time. And I think he's really just showing just how good he can be. And again, there's still a lot of season left. So even though the Jaguars aren't great as a team, you can still be very happy with your first round pick there with Brian Thomas Jr. But Packers, great football team. I'm picking them to win there in Jacksonville. Next is the Jets and the Patriots. I mean, the Jets should win this game. They are, in my opinion, the better football team. But at this point, I don't even know what to expect from the Jets. You bring in Devontae Adams, and then he doesn't get a single reception in the second half of a football game. The Jets defense looks way worse with Robert Saleh out of there. I'm not sure why that was the go-to move. But I think even in the past couple weeks, the defense has looked even worse. I get they have injuries. I get that. For what it's worth, they do actually have Hassan Reddick ending his holdout, so I would think that would help to some degree. But the Jets are in a bad spot right now. And when you think Jets, I was all in on this team this year. I was like, Rodgers is back. You get Garrett Wilson, great defense. I was all in. And not only have they disappointed, but like, their two wins are over the Patriots and the Titans. I mean, it's so weird. You'd think like, oh, they've had some tough losses. No, they really haven't even really beaten any great teams, and their losses are some pretty bad losses at times. So, with that said, I am going to pick the Jets, which I know is a really weird transition, but it's just because the Patriots are just not where they need to be to compete, and I think that's okay. That was kind of the I think expectations this year for the Patriots. They had a lot to figure out. New head coach, rookie quarterback, not a lot of talent on offense surrounding that quarterback. Then you have some guys going down with injuries there on defense, like Christian Barmore. I believe the other guy, I cannot remember who it is now, who also has missed a lot of time on defense. But yeah, so I'm picking the Jets. Patriots, you can see some flashes there. I think it'd be awesome if Drake May won this game. I don't see it though. I'm picking the Jets. Falcons and Buccaneers. I'm going to pick the Falcons. I think the Buccaneers are the better team, but now Baker Mayfield is down. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. It's going to be tough. So I am going to pick the Falcons here. Will Mike Evans play this week? I don't know if he's technically considered out, but like from the way he went down, the amount of pain he's in, they said it's kind of like a week to week thing. I would be very surprised if he plays, and even if he does, he is nowhere close to 100%. Chris Godwin, massive loss, terrible time to lose him. You're down 10, 40 seconds left. Just brutal. I'm picking the Falcons. Feel very bad for the Buccaneers though. Next is the Saints and the Chargers. I'm going to pick the Chargers here. The Saints, I think, are already a far fall from what they were week 1 and week 2. A lot of injuries, and I think that's really what it comes down to. Just a lot of injuries. Derek Carr got hurt. Chris Olave got hurt. Rashid Shaheed's out for the year. Alvin Kamara was banged up. And then on defense, I believe Paulson Adebo, I believe I think he broke his femur, which is supposed to be incredibly painful. I'm not sure how you even break your femur. But yeah, so that's awful. So just a ton of injuries all over the roster for the Saints. It sucks. I'm picking the Chargers to win that game, though. Next is the Bills and the Seahawks. This is a pretty tough game. The Seahawks, whenever I've picked them to win a big game like the 49ers game, they lose. And whenever I pick them to lose a game, like against the Falcons, they lose. They win. Whenever I pick them to win, they lose. So I'm going to pick the Bills here. I think the Bills are a great football team. This would be a big win for them in Seattle. I love what I saw from Amari Cooper already in his first game there in Buffalo. And he doesn't really know the playbook. So I think whenever he gets settled in, it'll be even better. Very excited about that. Also, Keon Coleman seems to be really kind of coming into his own. And, if you can somehow get Amari Cooper, a very comfortable and confident Keon Coleman, and a playmaker like Khalil Shakir, wide receiver, that's pretty solid. That's honestly pretty solid what you started the year with like a Curtis Samuel, Khalil Shakir, maybe Keon Coleman kind of thing. So the Bills have come a long way on offense. I like what I've seen. I'm picking the Bills in that one. Raiders and Chiefs. I'm picking the Chiefs without a doubt. Just picking the Chiefs. Panthers and Broncos. So Bryce Young is starting. Andy Dalton sprained thumb after a car accident. I think everybody's okay other than that, which is good to hear. With that said, though, Bryce Young is not going to win this football game. And if he does, I'd be thrilled. But I'd be very, very surprised if he does. Look, as a Panthers fan, I have tried to have a lot of confidence in Bryce Young. I've tried to be patient, and I think being let down and frustrated is quite the understatement. I'm going to leave it at that. I've done plenty of videos ranting about the Panthers. If you want to see those, go check those out. I'm picking the Broncos here. Maybe Bryce Young steps in and plays great football, but I would be very surprised. I'd love it, but I'd be very surprised. So I'm picking the Broncos. Next is the Bears and the Commanders. So this is tough because this is a very exciting matchup. Two great rookie quarterbacks, but Jayden Daniels did get banged up with a rib injury last week, and he's now considered week to week. So I don't think they've ruled him out for this week. I think they said it's like something to monitor. So I don't really know how to read this game. If Daniels is playing, it's going to be a very close matchup. But is he going to be 100%? I don't really know. Or do they just hold him out to be safe? In which case, I don't think it will be a very close matchup at all because I don't believe Marcus Mariota. I know he looked good last week. Don't be fooled. It was the Panthers. It doesn't count. Not a real football team. So Bears and Commanders. I'm gonna go with the Bears here. I love their defense, and I think even with Daniels playing or not playing, the Bears defense is kind of the X factor of this game. I think it's what's going to decide if the Bears can pull away from the Commanders. If the Bears defense lets them down, the Commanders can absolutely outscore the Bears. So that is kind of where I'm at here. I love the Commanders offense more than I love the Bears offense, but I love the Bears defense way more than I love the Commanders defense. So Bears defense has to show up this game, and if they do, I think the Bears, that's kind of like their kind of secret to winning, I guess. So I'm picking the Bears there, though. To beat the Commanders. Next is the Cowboys and the 49ers. I'm picking the 49ers. I don't think Brock Purdy has a game like that 2 weeks in a row. Just very, very poor performance. I believe he had 3 interceptions, no passing touchdowns, and a 1-yard rushing touchdown. That was it. 49ers have had a lot of injuries, unfortunately. You've had George Kittle banged up, Deebo Samuel banged up, and now he's in the hospital with like pneumonia or something. Brandon Ayuk is now out for the entire season, and you still don't have Christian McCaffrey. And with all that said, despite all that, I'm still picking the 49ers because I love the 49ers defense, and the Cowboys as a whole really haven't excited me very much this year. I think they're honestly a lot worse than last year. Their pass rush is super depleted. They've had a lot of injuries there. I'm picking the 49ers. I think they pull this one off. They're in San Francisco. But this is a very tough game and a very big game for both teams here. But I'm picking the 49ers. Monday Night Football, Giants and Steelers. I am picking the Steelers. Did I love what I saw from Russell Wilson on Sunday? Sure. I don't think I was as maybe moved as other people because I don't think Russell Wilson did anything too exceptional. I think what I was really impressed with was him not turning the ball over. To be honest, I know it sounds kind of rude, but that's what really impressed me. I think he played very mistake-free football, which is a very good sign from Russell Wilson. But still, that was one game. There's a lot to be seen for how this offense is going to fit together with Russell Wilson in there. So still, I'm picking the Steelers. Don't get me wrong, but I need to see more of Russ to be more confident in future picks with them. But that is my picks for this week. If you guys did enjoy them, make sure to comment down below what your guys' picks are, whatever I got right or wrong, who your favorite team is, all that kind of stuff. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. It is free. Take just a second. I would really appreciate that on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.